Ah, there we go. Now it's recording. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, thanks, Jay. I guess I usually show my screen then do it. So, alright, so recording is started. Let me go up and start on these questions. And again, for the recording people, if you haven't seen a news feed, please check August 9th. There is new PBN training on how to set up PBNs. For better results, kind of longer, longer term stability, all that. Alright, from Neil, my brother has a site. It's not WordPress, with an English-Spanish language translation tool on it. The overall URL structure of the site is site.com/en/page, with the en being for English. And this is the structure that comes up in Google searches. However, site.com/page does take you to exactly the same English page. You might switch the site later to a WordPress site where the structure will be site.com/page using translation plugin instead. For now, should I send links to the page version or the end page version? Or don't worry about it and just throw one later? I would probably do whatever is showing up in Google, Neil. And then if you need to, you can 301 it. Just be careful about a canonical URL so you have both versions have the same content. Just be careful with that. But yeah, I mean, as far as links, I would send to whatever's showing up in Google. And then if you need to, you can do a 301 later on. Alright, from Matt, I had a website stuck and I feel it's because of poor anchor text selection. What can I do to fix this? I've heard that it's bad to go back and change anchor text. I'm at the point where I don't want to buy more PBNs just to outweigh the anchors that were done. It depends on what the current anchor text is. I would have to see that situation to tell you the best way to do it. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily go back and change anchor text. So it depends what you've done so far, like how many there is and all that. And how big the niche is, and because I mean, if it's like a small local niche and you have like a whole bunch of like location-based anchor text, that could cause problems. I mean, really, it depends on the situation there. Can you discuss your silo philosophy when it comes to building out multiple pages for an affiliate site, such as America Speaks, for example? Do you use any of the silo plugins from Network Empire, or do you mainly do it with a parent-child page relationship? We use the silo plugin from Network Empire, Ryan. Pretty easy to use. And again, I only silo when it makes sense for me. So like a lot of people will silo, or not a lot of people, but like Network Empire will silo even local sites. For me, I don't usually do that because it's just there's not really enough topics, like natural topics, for me to do that. I mean, how many local sites do you know out there that are siloed? Do you know what I mean? So I kind of just keep it natural. And when there's a topic that can be broken down a lot, then I will silo, when it makes sense. I mean, that's just the way I do it. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that's just the way I approach it. Steve, for PBNs, I've been using different themes to mix it up as you show. I have an account with elegant themes, so I have access to around 90 or so premium themes. Even though all themes are different, is it a footprint that all themes are from elegant themes? That probably could be a footprint, actually, Steve. So, I mean, you use a tool something like what W theme is this.com. I think that's the site. No. Yeah, here it was what WP theme is that.com. I mean, with a simple tool like this, you can see what site. That's not a WordPress site. What? All right. So, for example, like the theme homepage, if they're all saying like elegant themes here, I mean this tool right here can track that footprint. So I mean, obviously Google could. So I guess it depends how it shows up, but yeah, it could be. I'm not saying it is, and it's something that's going to affect you, but my answer to that is yes, it could be a footprint. All right, so we got a long question from Nick, so I'm going to do a new screenshot. Alright, so advice for the following setup. Have a client wish to promote them on Amazon and at the same time build up a .com to boost the e-commerce. The client currently has 3 sites in Brazil, Paraguay, and Lebanon. All the sites are hosted by themselves on their own server, and they have a web designer who has built all these sites with PHP. They plan to register xyz.com with the purpose of uniting all 3 sites, which as I understand means that it will be a simple site that links to the other 3 sites. So they can primarily advertise on one. The 3 sub-sites are in other languages and do have English translation buttons. I'm not sure if this is good or bad. I want to build xyz2.com with WordPress as an English-based e-commerce site and silo it and do all the SEO magic that OMG has taught, and I would like to build links to that site. So I'm planning on getting my site linked to from the main.com home site and having my site having its own social media 2.0. Their current Web 2.0 properties are not in English. Would it be better for me to somehow use the main.com site, which would be more difficult for me to control? Are there any pitfalls I should worry about? That's a tough question because it's without looking at it. It's hard to see this scenario like from scratch. So I'm just trying to envision it. So if it was me personally, I probably wouldn't be too worried about them not being in English. I mean, especially with like the translate buttons, I think Google can put that all together. Would it be better for me to use the main.com site? I mean, just getting too many sites in the mix, I would say you could have problems with some type of footprint issues and all that. So that would be the main problem of creating so many different sites. I mean, it depends like where they're hosted and if they're on the same IPs, and you could also run into a problem of having the same content. I don't know how similar they are. So those are the issues that I would worry about. Without being able to see this again in action, it's hard to give advice, but those are just the main things that I would take into consideration is footprints such as IP, like with sites being on the same IPs and linking to each other, or even like same hosting. And then also like duplicate content type issues. Make sure the content's different for doing that much different sites. Alright, from Steve, regarding linking, I know it's not a good idea to change, remove, or add links to your site from PBNs without adding more content to the post. However, is it okay to change, add, or remove links on your money site that are going to other pages on the same money site, like from inner page to the home page by adding the links without adding more content? I mean, I've never extensively tested that, Steve. I would say changing links, take this with a grain of salt. Changing links, I would do it very carefully. Like if you're going to change a link, just make it like a one. Like if you have 10 links, don't go and change like 4 or 5. If you change 1 out of 10, I don't think that's going to cause you any negative effects. But at the same time, just be careful doing it. Inner pages, I wouldn't be as worried about. But again, I still wouldn't go and like just change a whole bunch of links, existing links at once. I think they have a patent on that where that's like a spam flag now. So, you recommend Yoast or all-in-one? Has there been discussions on Yoast not being that safe? I use Yoast usually, but I also use all-in-one. But I say I use Yoast a good amount more. I don't think it really matters. Too big of a deal. Do you use Social Explosion on your client sites or only on your own money sites and PBNs? Yeah, I use Social Explosion on anything I can. If they don't have WordPress, obviously I don't even worry about it. You could do an RSS, but I usually don't even worry about it if it's not WordPress. My take on the Google 7-pack to 3-pack changes with Google and how maps will be handled now. Could you do a general overview of these changes and what, if anything, we should do to take advantage of these changes? I mean, it's just going to be a little harder to get in the maps now, and I mean, I guess it opens up organic a little more, not really, because I mean, there's still some maps there. I mean, the only change I see is just it's going to be a little harder to make it into the maps. You know, if you're not, instead of having F as the cutoff now, C is the cutoff. So it's just going to take a little more work to get into the maps, that's all. Alright, fundamental requirements for ranking with on-page are the basic elements: keyword and URL if possible, keyword and titles, keyword and content, keyword and anchor text correct. In most cases, Rob, yeah. It depends on the niche and competition and all that. I mean, you'll notice some niches, and I kind of went over this last session, it's almost like they're moving away from like having the exact keyword in all those places. So for example, if you have like an EMD and you have exact match anchor for it, it's almost better to have like an LSI in the title now. So let's go to like Dallas. I'm just typing in something random. Alright, so before, you probably would have seen like Dallas, I did Dallas Plumbers. Just about every single site on the first page would have had Dallas Plumbers in the title. Now what do you see? You see Dallas Plumbing, okay? So you don't see the exact keyword. You do see it here. You do see it in this one, so that's one. You see it in this one, it's not even first. Usually it would be first. This one, you just see Dallas Plumbing. You don't see Plumbers. This one, you see Dallas Plumber, not the plural, though. This one, you see Dallas Texas Plumbers, so a word in between. Dallas TX Plumber, again, a word in between and not the plural. You don't see it in here at all. Again, you see Dallas and then words in between, then plumber, not the plural. And then right here, you see the exact. So we have two sites on the first page that have the exact keyword in there, right? I'm starting to do more stuff like this right here, where I'll mention the keyword here, maybe a word or two in between, and then the other word. Or I'll do like LSI, like plumbers in Dallas, something like that, if that's not one of my main keywords. So I would say, yeah, like keywords in all those places, but at the same time, be aware of the changes that are going on where they're doing stuff like this, where they're liking this better than the exact keyword in some cases. Depends on the rest of your optimization, you know, your anchor text and you know, your on page and all that, but don't be afraid to make small changes to your titles and your on page with stuff like this where you're, you know, if you had Dallas Plumbers before and you're not moving anywhere, put a word in between and see what it does for you. Now, I went over the example last session where I had a site, I forget what example I used. I had something like Dallas Locksmiths, and then like, you know, get your locks repaired, I don't know, something like that. Right, and it was like back on the 4th page, and I was just doing a little test with this keyword sensitivity stuff. That's what I call it, keyword sensitivity. I changed the title to "Find a Locksmith in Dallas, Texas," something like that, and then something else here, something here. And this moved me up to the top of page 2, like middle top of page 2 for Dallas Locksmiths. So making the change from this to this version knocked me up about 25 spots, 25 spots. So don't be afraid to mess with your titles and your on page with little changes like that and see what it does for you, because they do seem to be changing the sensitivity with keywords and titles and stuff like that. And again, it depends on the rest of your optimization. There is some cases where this works better. It depends what your optimization is. Like for example, I'm going to make a prediction here, okay? I'm going to predict that these guys right here have a lot of branded anchor text. All right, so let's go through these guys, and the reason I'm saying this is because if they had a lot of keyword anchor text, they'd be less likely to rank with the exact keyword in their title. Now, I could be wrong, but with the changes I'm seeing going on, my guess is that they have a lot of branded anchor text and not much keyword. because that's you can put the exact keyword in if you don't have a lot of the keyword in your anchor text. It's more like a balancing act now. Let's just go check that out. All right, so they got 121 backlinks, 49 referring domains. Let's go see their anchor text. All right, exactly what I thought. Okay, a lot of branded anchor text, a lot of check these guys out. Like general. Where do you see their keyword? You don't, right? You don't really see their keyword in here. It's all branded, and that's why these guys are ranking okay for that with the exact thing in their title. All right. Whereas these guys right here, or no, that's these guys right here, they probably have more exact anchor. A little more at least. They do have the non-plural version in here, but these guys right here having it first, the exact keyword first in their title, I could tell they probably don't have much keyword anchor text because they're getting away with ranking number 2 for that. Whereas before, they like that combo. So now you can see how it's kind of changing. It depends on your other optimization, but just be aware of those type of things that are going on. All right, so next question is from Claudia. You said last week that if we have several money sites within the same Google Webmaster Tools account that we should separate them, but wouldn't Google remember that they were in the same account previously? I don't know, Claudia. I've never taken accounts out and put them back in a different account. My guess is you would be okay, but I'm not positive about that. I would just say moving forward, put them individually into their own Google Webmaster Tools account. I mean, that's my advice if you're going to put it in there. All right, from Paul. Sent an email question through Greg. Didn't get any email questions. But basically, if you could give a quick big picture overview of how it all fits together now after that new video with vCracken, vSal, social exposure, spider spanker, it's a little unclear. I think you're talking about the new PBN video. Nothing's changed as far as these plugins. You can do different stuff. I'm just saying that's a good new way to do it that we're seeing good results on. Social Explosion, Spider Spanker are still the same. I still use them. vSilo and vCracken, that's totally different. I mean, you could use vSilo to silo your PBNs, which is somewhat the same thing as what I showed. I'm just doing it with categories and tags. vCracken, that's more like the PBN reloaded stuff, which I don't use as much anymore. But they're kind of different things, Paul. What I would do moving forward, Paul, if I were you, is just follow what I showed and then use Social Explosion and Spider Spanker on them. Okay, that'd be the easiest way for you to go. From Matt, do you ever use general anchors on your PBNs? If not, what's the best way to get some general anchors to diversify our anchor text portfolio? Very seldomly I will, Matt. I like doing stuff like where I'll do brand plus keyword. So if I got gregsite.com, I'll do stuff like this, keyword here. So I like doing stuff like that, or even gregsite.com, reviews, the keyword, whatever. So I'll do brand plus keyword type stuff, but very, very rarely will I do something like click here. And it's very, very rare. Usually it's just to do a test. If you want more generic type anchor text, I would probably do blog commenting, stuff like that. 'Cause you'd have to do higher quality, to make sure they get accepted, and it takes a little bit of time, but that's probably what I would use for that. You can use social profile type stuff for that too. There's social sites where you can get a profile and put information in there with a link. You can use those. just use that type of stuff sparingly. Alright, I have one PBN that is linking to a client's Facebook and Yelp, but not to the money site directly. Would it be safe for me to add on another PBN to the same hosting account and link the new PBN to the money site directly, as long as I don't link both to the same money site? I mean, I've done it, Steve, without any problems. I haven't had any problems doing that. I don't know if it will cause problems in the future, but right now it does not seem to be causing any problems. How do you go about putting up review sites that you don't have knowledge of on the product? For example, your Qzx sites. I hire people, Steven. Or, you know, if you're doing your research, if I was doing it myself, I would just do research. I would check out all review sites, get as much information as I could, and just make a review based on that. I have set the title to the main keyword, but it's not showing in the SERPs. It was showing about 2 to 3 weeks ago. I haven't done anything different. May have changed the title to a different keyword, but that's it. Do you think this is why it may be happening? I don't know what question you asked before. It could just be taking time to get indexed, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, because indexing has been a little slower lately, it seems, Tess. Someone said something about caffeine is back, Google Caffeine, which is like slower indexing. So it could have something to do with that. I made a change recently, actually, that took about 3 weeks to take effect with the title, which I haven't seen in a while. So it could just be the slower indexing going on. From Lucian, can you go over on-page optimization in terms of keyword density? What should we look at? 2% maximum once in title and twice in body. Yeah, I've gone over this a lot, Lucian. It really depends. Remember, Google is a probability-based algorithm, okay? So if you have something like your keyword is SEO, okay, versus how to lose weight for women over 40 years old, okay? So let's just do these two keywords versus each other. If you have SEO for 2% of your, let's say you have 1,000 words and you have it for 2%, you're not going to be over, let's say 4%, all right? So let's say 4% for each of these. You're not going to be over optimized for this, but you'll probably be way over optimized for this. Why? Because they're totally different keywords, right? This is a huge keyword that gets a ton of searches. This is a very long tail keyword that gets very, very little searches. So the chances of this being naturally in an article 4% of the time is slim to none. Same thing with anchor text. Whereas the chance of this being in there 4% is very good because it's a bigger keyword that gets mentioned more. So keyword density all relates to probability. I mean, you got to think, how often would there be a chance of this being mentioned in an article? A keyword this long, I'd probably only put in an article one time exactly. Whereas a keyword like this, I'm not really worried about it being repeated many times. You know, so the best advice I can give you is look at competitors. Go to a competitor site and just do a search and see how many times they have their keyword on the page, and that can kind of give you a general idea. Now, you also have to consider keywords in the URL and the anchor text, so that combines for optimization, but this can at least give you a general idea. All right, so they don't have Dallas Plumber at all on their page, all right? But they have Dallas Plumbing, which is a very similar size as their anchor, or I'm sorry, as their domain. And then they probably have some a good amount of keyword optimized anchor text, which is allowing them to not have that exact term on their site. Like they probably have like a lot of Dallas Plumbing type anchor text. Probably have some Dallas Plumbers. Yeah, Dallas Plumbing Company, Dallas Plumbing, Dallas Plumbing. So they have a lot more keyword anchor text. Dallas Plumbing, Dallas Plumbing, Dallas Plumbing, Dallas Plumbing, Dallas Plumbing, Dallas Plumbing. So you see they have a lot more keyword-based anchor text, which varies their optimization score. Whereas the Berkeley guys, they don't have as much, so they could get away with having Dallas Plumbers more on their page. So you got to consider all those things. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they had Dallas plumbers on this page, unlike the other guys. All right, so now they have it 3 times, but and one of them is in an H1 tag or an H2, whatever that is. All right, so they have it 3 times, whereas the first site had it 0. But remember the difference between anchor text. These guys have a whole bunch of keyword-based anchor text, whereas Berkeley had all branded, right? So you got to consider all that, but you can get a good idea. Like, you know, what's your current anchor text? Do you have, like, they don't have anything in their domain either. So, you know, maybe if you have a little bit of keyword anchor text and maybe you have a partial EMD, maybe you want to start with putting there once or twice. So doing this search can give you a good idea of where to start for how many times to have the keyword on your page. All right, do you ever use services to gain traffic and click-through rate? Yes, Matt. I use micro workers a little bit, and I'm testing a lot with that right now, actually, Matt. It's funny you bring this up, because just as we were starting this webinar, I'm testing a whole bunch of Fiverr gigs right now for traffic and stuff like that. So I'm messing with all that stuff right now, but traffic is definitely big. But I'll definitely have up-to-date information on that as tests come in. All right, from Jared, my city SEO site is a little over 2 months old, and I'm on the first page of Yahoo and Bing, but I'm on the 4th page of Google. I know you mentioned Google's taking longer to rank, and that Bing and Yahoo's algorithm is about 1 to 2 years behind Google. Should I add more links or just play around with the on-page and titles and be patient? Depends on how competitive, Jared, and what you've currently done, like how many links you've done and all that. But you might want to focus a little bit on, like, if you haven't done social, make sure you do all that type of stuff, and just be patient with it. If it's a little over 2 months old, it's pretty new still. It depends on the competitiveness too. So I mean, like the Iowa City SEO example, that's not that competitive compared to something like Nashville SEO. You know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, the first 6 spots. I think we got to the first page within a month, and this is not very competitive. Like in Nashville SEO, we couldn't have done the same thing. It would have taken probably at least a few months. So you just got to be a little more patient now with your sites. So I'll just give it time. How do you get coupon codes to give out on your sites? It depends if they offer coupon codes, Steven. So if you're an affiliate for a product, you just have to ask, you know, if you can get a coupon code. If you're going to start out ranking without PBNs, what is your best tip? Web 2.0s are better use expired Web 2.0s, PA, low comp. I mean, I don't rank much without PBNs, Rob. I'd probably go like blog comment on relevant sites. Yeah, create some relevant 2.0 stuff like that. But I don't do much without PBNs. How would you rank a YouTube video? Same way I'd rank a site, Lucian. PBNs, embedding, anchor text links, all that. Can I create a Facebook page from my affiliate page for my personal profile, or does that leave some footprint? What's the recommended practice for profiles used to build Facebook pages for PBNs and money sites? I've done both, Anise. I've done some from personal, some do their own. It just depends what type of project it is. If you don't mind it being connected to your personal Facebook, then go ahead and connect it, I would say. Should I link Facebook and Twitter page from the Google Plus brand page I've created for the Rank Rent website? Yes, you can do that. Do you know the name of the WordPress plugin that is used for affiliate sites to monitor where users are clicking on the website so that we can improve the layout? I saw it on one training video, but I can't find it. Do a Google search for heat maps, Anise. I'm not sure the exact plugin you're talking about, but if you do a search for heat map, maybe something will come up here. say heat maps show you exactly where people are clicking on your site. So there's all different softwares that can do that, but it's called a heat map. What tool do you use to find out the keyword density of a site, and also what other sites anchor text? Anchor text, I usually use Ahrefs. Keyword density, I usually use SEO Centro. Type in SEO Centro keyword density, and then this tool right here. Or, I mean, there's tons of tools you can use. That's just usually what I use. From Madam, it's a small local keyword. I have anchors that are too generic, a few that are targeting the actual suburb plus keyword. I wanted to change them to remove the suburb out of the keyword and possibly change some of the generic ones. I mean, the generic ones aren't hurting you, Matt. They're just kind of spreading out your anchor text, so I wouldn't really worry about that. They're basically just kind of pushing power to your site. The ones that are targeting actual suburb, you said you have a few. It's hard to say if that's too much or not. You might want to mess with toning down the on page for that suburb keyword. Make sure you don't have it too much. So that I would start with that. Tone down the on page for the suburb that you're mentioning in your anchor text and see what that does for you, especially in the title. All right, started My City Guide sites. Would the ranking pages still work for local without 7-pack? Yeah, absolutely. You don't need 7-pack to rank. Do you do press releases? If not, why not? If yes, what sync errors do you place it with? Seldomly I do use them, Lucian, but not that often. I don't even remember the last one I used, to be honest with you, the name of it. I've had one of my websites on page 2 after sending only 2 PBN links to the inner page. My first 10 spots on Google, the first 10 spots on Google have no links to their inner page, but all their home page. Should I start linking to my home page rather than my inner page? Not necessarily. I mean, the sites that you're seeing ranked, I mean, we've gone over this before, they can gate, like, there's certain cases where I will do that, Matt, but I mean, if you're sending links to the inner page and it's moving fine, you might just want to keep on that. Usually when I'll switch to the home page is if it gets stuck, me personally, or if it's a really big site on the same topic. So if I have like a huge directory site about plumbers, I'm going to send a lot of plumber-based anchor text to the home page to help create that relevance for my whole site, which will help rank those inner pages. So it depends on the situation, but if you're moving up fine on that inner page, I would just continue that way. Unless you get stuck, then I'll start hitting the home page. If you have a client that is not using WordPress but has Joomla or Drupal or some kind of platform, how do you go about making any on-page changes that need to happen? Presuming that you don't know how to do the changes yourself on those platforms, tell them the changes you want and have them make them, Steve. That's what I've done in the past. I have a client with a large Pinterest, Facebook, and YouTube sites, but all the links are pointing directly to their website. Should I delete some or most of the links and or create dash map? If I understand this correctly, that's fine, Joanne. I mean, if they have a Pinterest, Facebook, and YouTube, and they're all linking to their home page, that's fine. I mean, that's kind of what we do. In your portfolio of sites, what is your approximate ratio of affiliate sites versus local? Any tips regarding folks going affiliate sites? CPA offers better than others? Pretty large portion of affiliate, Rob. I love affiliate. Maybe like 80-20 for affiliate, I would say. Tips for folks who want affiliate: just do something that you're into, but also make sure there's money there. I've always done well with stuff that I'm into, and usually I haven't done CPA as much as per sale. I mean, per sale is kind of CPA, CPA is cost per action, but I mostly do like, when I make a sale, I get a percentage. I haven't done much of like zip codes and stuff like that. I guess you could call that like cost per lead. I haven't done much like lead stuff. If you buy a powerful expired domain that has existed for a while, is it worth buying SSL for it? Does this affect the inbound links at all if the site was not previously HTTPS? No, that's fine to do, Ryan. I've done it before. I think I did it with America Speaks. Totally fine to do. Just when you're setting up the SSL, I would just do it before you set up the site, whether it's expired or not. Can I add a new link into an already published PBN post? I have a PBN post linking to Weebly now. I have other social properties built, so I can edit that post and add the social links from that PBN post. You can do that, but I would just add more content to the post to be safe for ticks. So I wouldn't make the only thing you do adding links. Add content to it and then add links in the new content. Are you still using domain privacy on all your PBNs, or are you now using fake? Mostly private, Steve. Yeah. Alright. From Kurt, was just watching your video from last year on using expired domains for the Nashville TN Guide site. Was curious how it played out. Did it get negative SEO'd? No, the Nashville TN Guide site, that was when the change was made, Kurt, where they were tracking at the hosting level. So we had all links coming from SEO hosting, which is the same host. So I think we had 6 links. So let's go to so they made the change where SEO hosting's fine to use. You just can't keep sending links from the same SEO hosting account now like you used to. It's not just IP they're tracking, it's domain. You know this, Kurt, but I'm just explaining for everyone else. It's not just IP they're tracking now, but also like who the host is. I don't know who's hosting this. Let me go to a different one. Alright, so for example, if this was on SEO hosting, like my PBN was on SEO hosting, they would see that all the links coming in are from this software works group. Different IPs, but all from software works group, and that was the problem with that site. It had hosting footprints for the PBNs. Regarding my earlier question about changing links on the money site, what I did was I added a few links and some inner pages to go to the home page, probably 6 or 7, by just using existing words and hyperlinking them. A couple of them also added a word here and there to the text and linked it to the home page rather than changing a link. After I did it, I wasn't sure if that was safe or not to add links to existing. I would say that's fine, Steve. I've never tested with it, but just knowing the way Google works, I would say there's no problem with that. Because I do that because just think about it. Like if you put up a new page of content, right, and you go back to old content, you mention like a specific topic that you now have new content on, you're going to go in and just add a link to that new page. So I see that as fine to do for like interlinking. I've been linking branded Tier 1 Web 2.0s to my host affiliate money site using IFTTT. For linking T2 Persona Web 2.0s to my branded T1 Web 2.0s, can I link directly, or is it better to keep it as an RSS Persona Web 2.0 linking? Rob, I haven't done much like tiered linking like that. Most of my tiered linking, as far as like DAS type stuff, is simply socials to my money site and then PBNs to my socials. That's it. So for linking, and I would say yes, that should be fine to do, Rob, what you're asking. I would say that's fine to do, Rob, but I don't usually, go that far with it, just to let you know. If you're not doing PBN Reloaded anymore, are you using vCracken for anything at all? Not really, Steve. I don't use vCracken a ton. Some people do. I personally don't. Whoops. Cut that one off. Alright, I found an expired tumbler with PA40 TF30. The URL is not related to my keywords at all. Am I better off building another tumbler with EMD and building PATF from scratch with correct keyword URL? How would you see these powerful expired tumblers? I don't use tumblers, guys, so I don't have experience with that. But you'll be fine getting a link from that one, Thomas. I mean, related is better, but you're still going to get something out of that. Alright, is having duplicate content in the forms of terms of service and privacy policy on PBNs and money sites a problem in your experience? By duplicate, I mean duplicates between my other money sites using the same wording as well as any other people's sites using this stuff. No, I haven't seen problems with that, Eric. Claudia's question brings up a question for me. I have a Webmaster Tools account that has a bunch of my own sites and a bunch of client sites in it. If I'm using personas for some of my sites, can I hide my footprint from Google? Not if they're all in the same Webmaster Tools account, Kathy. I mean, they're tying all those together through your account. So if we had a brand name as a partial match domain, for example, mattsplumbers.com, can we anchor out like this, Matt Plumbers, Dallas Plumbing Services? Yeah, I do that type of stuff all the time, Matt. Absolutely. In the OTS section, there's a current 2015 version and your 2014. Is the 2014 one still valid, or should I pay attention to the 2015? Pay attention to 2015. I mean, there's still a lot of validity in the 2014, but again, this stuff with using SEO hosting is gone. So, when creating a main money site, how do you create a 5 to 10 page site on the same day? Syndicate other people's content with my input. I mean, I personally just order the content, Rob, and just put it up. That's what I do. I'm not sure if you're asking if that's okay to do, but yeah, putting up a site in one day is fine. I'll just order the content. When content comes in, I'll put it up. And usually I don't do that myself. I have my partner do all the setting up website type stuff. I do the off-site SEO. And of course, I'll just kind of go over the on-page when it's done. I'm in the process of replacing some of my old, less powerful PBNs with new ones. Is it okay to move all content and WordPress installed to the new PBN and 301 the old PBN to the new? There are no penalties on the old PBNs. They just have lost some of their backlinks over time. Yeah, that should be fine to do, but one thing I would be a little worried about if that was me is doing that for like all the PBNs that have gone to a site. Like if they all kind of had the same pattern, this link was here, now it's here, like that same pattern of like a 301 to a new site and then linking to your money site. I would be a little worried about it. Probably won't affect you, but that's something I might be a little careful of. Alright, but overall there shouldn't be problems with that. Alright, my client has these EMD domains below. Each has unique content. The link to About Us on each site links to the About Us page on a whole bunch of sites. The last site ranks well for Auckland painters. None of the other sites rank for their terms. Is there a risk having the same site linking together in this way? Which this question is a little too confusing. It's just too many sites for me. Like, I don't even know what's going on here. I mean, if they're all linking to the same sites, I mean, yeah, that could be a problem. It depends. I would have to see that one, like live, Crescendo, because that's just too much stuff going on for me to even visualize. The EMDs could be worth it to keep. I don't know the history of them. I don't know if, the linking that's going to them. So it really, really depends. And the changes I would make really depends on that. So that's really hard to read, just like this. I'm not sure what's going on there. All right, from Rob, do you use proxies, other techniques instead, like private browser or VPN to hide? No, I just use Internet Explorer when posting to PBNs. Have you heard about a recent algorithm rollout? In one of my other Facebook groups, it seems a lot of new affiliate sites are getting hit with thin content penalties. Nah, I haven't had a problem, Sherry. I haven't heard of any major problems. Which keyword tool do you use? Paid or keyword planner? I just use the keyword planner or the Google. Like if you type something into Google, best car alarms, whatever. I'll use this down here, this information. That's all I do, that and then the Google keyword tool. Is it possible to have footprints with domain name registrars, not hosts? And if so, what do you do to prevent it? Yeah, it's possible. I just try to split it up. Except, if you have a really big domain registrar like Enom or GoDaddy, I haven't seen problems with that. But if you have something like a smaller domain registrar, like for example, you have 10 PBNs on Big Rock, which is like a not well-known domain registrar, and all 10 of those links go into your money server from Big Rock, that's a problem. Whereas if all 10 were from GoDaddy, probably not going to be a problem because they're so big. So again, remember Google is probability based. It depends on the size of the registrar. Be careful using too many links from smaller registrars. Is FireSafe used for creation of Persona T2 Web 2.0s? In some cases, yeah. It depends on who's doing the gig. Quick question about the stats of PBNs that you used in the IOCD SEO OTS. You said they were only $60 PBNs. What the APA are you purchasing for $60? Actually, 2 of them were $69, and then one was $9. So one was an expired domain tour auction. I don't know what the DAPA were on them. Probably like 25 range, I'm guessing. I have 2 EMDs which were ranking page 1, 2, and 3 for several keywords without any link building. Now I did a few Web 2.0 links to them, and the pages optimized for the keywords got kicked out of the SERPs, yet are still indexed. I'm not sure if I have Google Dance here or a Penguin Penalty or something. Both were brand new domains. Your thoughts on this? Yeah, I mean, brand new domains are very hard to gauge in Eco, so it's tough to say what's going on there. The newer the site is, the more neurotic it's going to be, I guess you could say. It's going to jump around, disappear, come back. So I would say it probably has nothing to do with the Web 2.0s yet, if I had to guess. It's just a new site. So I would just give that time. Do you use RSS to rank sites? If so, what service do you recommend? And do you do mashup type feeds? No, I don't really use RSS that much, Lucian, to be honest. The site is for a plastic surgeon. He has numerous procedures he offers on his website. The competition has their inner pages ranking without any links to them, but all to the home page. So it's okay, you're saying, to keep linking to that specific procedure. Yeah, it's fine, Matt. That's fine to do. Where do you find your affiliate sources? Use Google, Sue. If you're looking for like car alarm affiliate programs, car alarm affiliate programs. All right, you're going to get all types of affiliate programs for car alarms. Regarding finding affiliate niches, there are a few niches that I have found that I'm interested in, but some of them are not mainstream. Can you tell us how you would check a more obscure niche to find out if there is money in it? I mean, if there's searches in that niche and people are looking to buy something, then there's money in it. I mean, we know someone who created a product about how to get a guy to marry you, who's made $80,000 a month off the product. I mean, there's products out there about how to build a deck that make thousands and thousands of dollars a month. So I mean, there's really money in all niches. Just if there's a market and there's people searching and it's not something they can buy, then you can make money from it. Well, your answer to Steve regarding using domain privacy versus personas, is this an effective general practice to hide with little or no footprint in addition to spreading out over different hosts? Yeah, it's fine, Rob. If I buy an expired domain and don't put up a site quickly, will it lose its juice? No, it will keep its juice. How many social media sites would you typically link from to a money site? From a money site? I mean, if you're linking out to your own social media sites, you link to as many as you want. If I understand that correctly. What steps do you take after a site gets de-indexed? Just drop it from your hosting, or are there other precautions you take, like moving other sites that were on that site IP? Like if a PBN gets de-indexed, I'll leave it up if it's not affecting the money site. If the money site it's linking to also drops, that means there's a whole bunch of other de-indexed PBNs pointing to it probably, then I just ditch those PBNs. But if the money site it's linking to, again, does not drop, then I will just leave it up. Bart, from your experience, if a site is jumping from second and third page, what do you think this is from? On page or mainly anchor text ratio? I know the question is too specific. I mean, it could be a new site, so it could be the site's just new. It could be optimization. It could be quality of links. It could be relevance of links. Or of course, have to do something to do with traffic. You're just not getting enough traffic. So it can be any of those things. It can be your optimization. It's probably optimization or like quality relevance of links, most likely. But there's a lot of stuff that can cause that. I just recently bought vCracken but haven't used it yet. Do you think it's still safe to use on PBNs for auto content? I mean, I know it's still safe because I still have PBNs using it. They're doing just fine. But I would rather have actually like real written content on my PBNs. Just me personally. Or at least a mix of the two. Like I don't want all pages with just video, no written content. That's just me personally. If trying to adjust over-optimized content on a site by removing pages, mark some pages as robots no index, but even after 1 month the pages are still indexed. Any pros cons of using the URL removal tools in Webmasters? I mean, you're just going to have to get a site in Webmasters to do it, but I don't think there's any really cons of using it. I mean, the pros would be it should get the job done quicker. Again, I would just add it to its own Webmaster account if I were you. Can I use Blogger or Tumblr to set up my PBN on expired auction domain? I believe you can, Pratik. I've never done it myself. I'm almost positive you can, but I've never done that, so I don't have any input on how to do that. I know Derek has done it, so you could ask Derek on how to do that if you're interested. All right. Now you are not using vCracken. Do you manually update your PBNs from time to time? See the new training, August 9th update. It's in your members area. Is it a good idea to use Google Analytics or better to track your site and traffic another way? Personally, I like using other ways, Steven. That's just me. But some people are totally fine with Google Analytics. Just depends on your preference. I personally don't like it. I'm looking at a PBN to buy that has a keyword very relevant to my money site and its domain name, close to an EMD. My question is, the expired domain has zero actual relevancy as they use the word hummingbird only as branding for an interior design related business. I actually have a money site involving birds, and I'm wondering if I'll get credit for relevancy or not. All of their anchor text is branded to the word birds all over. Yes, I highly believe you will get relevance for that, Jeff, especially if you put up content based around that. So my very positive guess is yes. I mean, no one knows that for sure, I would say, but I can tell you I'm very certain that the answer is yes. All right, why do you use IE to post to PBNs? Is IE safer than, say, Firefox? I use IE because usually Firefox, I'm logged into my Google account. So usually I have like Firefox up, I'm logged into Google in Firefox. I don't want to use Chrome because that's Google's browser, so that leaves Internet Explorer. So that's the reason I use Internet Explorer, because with Firefox, I'm usually signed into Google in my Firefox browser. HostGator is a pretty big host. Is it a problem, though, if my first 3 or 4 links to a money site from sites hosted with HostGator? I mean, you're just playing with fire when you don't have to, Steve. It's probably okay, because they are a big host. I don't know. Because, I mean, how many hosts are out there? I mean, again, it comes down to probability. They're one of the biggest hosts, so you probably would be fine. But, you know, would you want to take that chance? Have you ever not gotten paid by an affiliate? I have some outstanding payments that have not been made. Seems shady, although the network seems legit. Not sure if individual offers suddenly go dark. I have been, many years ago, I was not paid for something. It was like an individual affiliate program, Ryan. And then now, even like big companies, sometimes they're late. But not being paid, I've only had a problem with once. That was like an individual affiliate program for like one product. Do you ever put PBNs on a reseller hosting account? Not really anymore, Susan. I have some still on Host9, like older ones that I use still, but moving forward, I do not. I bought a site a year ago off Flippa, and it was built using PHP or HTML. The site has a lot of articles I want to keep, but want to change the host and also switch it over to WordPress. Any advice on doing this? Yeah, I'm not very technical, Stephen. You might want to ask that in the Facebook group. There's probably people in there who would tell you the best way to do that. Me personally, I'm not sure. I would pay someone to do that. Not the type of stuff I'm very good with. All right, so we got a few more here. I'll go through these last few. All right, regarding using expired domains for PBNs, once you have done the dummy post and the site has indexed, is it safe to link directly to the money site, presuming you are fairly sure about the other metrics of the site, or is there any other checks or things you can do safely before linking to the expired domain? Yeah, do the penalty check, Steve. I reviewed the penalty check in the new domain in the new video I just did. Again, under August 9th news. I always do the penalty check before I link out. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of my PBN inner pages go unindexed while the home page is indexed. What is your opinion could be causing this? Is there a non-manual penalty on these PBNs? I don't know how long they're not being indexed, Cliff, but again, I've seen slower indexing rates lately, so it could just be like a slow thing. Again, I've made changes on some sites that literally take like 3-4 weeks to take effect, which before would never happen. So, when you're using IE to post to PBNs, do you have Firefox open with Google logged in at the same time? Yes, I do. I've been logging in and out in Firefox, and it would be great to not have to do this. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I just stay logged in, Eric. I've had no problems so far. I mean, maybe it'll cause problems in the future. I don't know. So far, I've had no problems. And even like using Chrome to post my PBNs, I've had no problems. But I figured, you know, why not use IE? Could be a little safer, I guess. You know, no big deal using a different browser, so I just use IE. But even when I was using Firefox, I had no problems. Are Spider Spanker and Social Explosion a one-off cost, or do you have to buy it for each site you use it on? Spider Spanker is a one-off cost. Social Explosion is not. All right, so we did get a few more in, so I'm going to cover these last 6 that came in, and then we'll get rolling here. Let's see. Is there any value in owning related EMDs or the same EMDs with different TLDs if they don't have any links or other juice? The thinking is to prevent competitors getting them or possibly using the EMD to get extra rankings. I mean, yeah, again, mostly probably so competitors can't get them. And just having them on hand would be the main benefit. I'm using Host9 reseller hosting for PBNs. Anything I should watch out for? I mean, yeah, just sending links from the same host to your money sites, Gad. You know, again, that's kind of like using SEO hosting. Just be careful sending same, like, you know, links from Host9 to the same money site. Like multiple links from Host9 to the same money site. Thanks, Chris Lee. What is a reseller host company versus a non-reseller hosting company? Basically, reseller, Rob, means that supposedly you're all like you kind of buy the account and offer hosting the other people. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. But I wouldn't worry too much about all of that because we don't really use that. A good alternative to Google Analytics. I'll bring that up on Facebook. A lot of people use different stuff in there. Like Get Clicky is a popular one. But if you want more options, you can bring it up in the Facebook group. When do you see results typically from a PBN? Always changing, Michael. Usually I'll see a little bit right away, and then, I mean, sometimes, like, a lot of times, like a month later, I'll see a big jump, and then many months later, I'll see slow trickles. So, I mean, it really varies on the site, the niche, and traffic, and all that stuff. All right, I'm sending PBN links to a money site social properties homepage first recently. Is there a time that it would be okay to send PBN links to a particular social post? Maybe a post would itself links to an error page on a money site. Yeah, I actually haven't played with that too much, Eric, but yeah, I mean, I could see that working well. But I personally have not played with that too much, to be honest with you. Most of that just go like to the account. So I don't want to leave anyone hanging, so I'm going to do these last few, and I got to get ready to get my son. It's got surgery Thursday, so I'm hobbling around, so I'm going to need a little extra time. Let's see. Did that one. You're welcome, Eric. Walt. Would you recommend? I would go to Gregory Ortiz for DFY PBN, probably, Walt. You could also talk to iPad Spears. When vCracken pulls in content, is that considered duplicate based on what's in YouTube for the description? I don't believe so, Ryan. I'm not positive, but I do not believe so. Alright, guys, looks like that is it for today. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's it for today, so I'll get this recording over to David. Make sure you check out the new training on PBNs, again, August 9th in your members area. And I will see you guys next Monday. Alright, have a good one, everyone.